So we're here. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you here in Bonn, but also our online webcast audience to the opening, the press conference for the Global Festival of Action for Sustainable Development. The three-day festival, hosted by the UN SDG Action Campaign and supported by the German government, brings together business leaders, governments, activists, and innovators from all world regions to inspire action for the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm also pleased to be speaking at the inaugural session of the SDG Studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the next session.
A live broadcast, as you can tell, a live broadcast that will capture conversations on SDG action and solutions throughout the course of the festival and carry them around the world to our online audiences. Without further ado, I would now like to welcome our speakers today, who will share more information on the festival, its goals and ambitions for this week. Let me turn first to Mitchell Toomey, the Global Director for the UN SDG Action Campaign, who's to my second right. To the far right, Dr. Ingolf Dietrich, Director, Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. To his left, Her Excellency, Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire, who is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, the Government of Nigeria. And to my immediate right, Ms. Chebbi, co-founder of the Voice of Women Initiative and founding chair of the Afrika Youth Movement. With that, let me turn the floor to Mitch. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and it's a joy to be here. I know we just came out of an amazing plenary session where we got into a lot of the details of everything, but I just wanted to make another point about this festival. This is a moment in time. It's going to be a great 3 days, but what we really are proud of is the number of people who've come from all over the world on their own expense to be a participant in this. So I encourage everybody here, and frankly on the live stream and everywhere else, to make the most of this opportunity, make as many connections as you can, because when you go back home, you're going to need these connections, you're going to need this knowledge. So don't be shy here. You know, everybody that's at this event will have a great deal of opportunity to meet people. We've made so many different kinds of arrangements that we'll need to make sure that we have,
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the next session.
So it's already a vibrant and a lively event, as you can tell, but we're very excited to have the City of Bonn, the federal government of Germany, great hosts and guests like the government of Nigeria, our partners who work in the streets with the people around the world and bringing all these communities together. So that's really what we wanted to feature in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if we could turn over to Dr. Dietrich, thank you for your remarks.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are supporting this Festival of Action, and we are supporting it with pleasure. It's really impressive. It's really colorful. It's growing by audience, and it's a success story. And we really like it. And I would reiterate one of my points from the opening: what we need more to overcome the lack of transformation we have. We need more transformation to see more sustainable development. We need to overcome business as usual, and for that we need awareness raising. We need change of lifestyle, change of culture, and that's exactly what the Action Campaign and what the festival can bring to us, with all the different participants from all over the world, with all over actor groups or stakeholder groups. So this is very, very important and very, very good for, it's one of the challenges and one of the bottlenecks we have to overcome, and I congratulate you for organizing it and doing it so well.
Thank you. And if I could ask Your Excellency for your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been part of the Global Festival for Action Campaign on SDGs. We're a partner in progress, and a good partner to me is a good partner with Nigeria on campaign on SDGs. We are committed, and we are still committed. The President of Nigeria is committed to the achievement of SDG. And We believe that it's about people, it's about planet, it's about prosperity, it's about peace, and making life more meaningful to the people of the world and make a world a better place for all of us. Despite the harsh economic realities in Nigeria, Nigeria government is still committing, mobilizing resources to ensure that the SDGs are achieved. We will continue to partner and to inspire the African continent to also make sure that we share knowledge and try to make the campaign more realistic for all of us to achieve SDG. It's about partners, and the private sector partnership is very key, and civil society organization is very, very important in achieving SDGs. We will continue to do that and partner with UN Action Campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Chebbi, your comments, thanks.
Thank you. I'm very, very privileged to be here. I think we need to recognize that many youth could not make it here, whether because of lack of resources, lack of information, visa restriction, whatever is the reason, there are people, voices who are not here. So we need to be very aware of that and try to elevate those voices. And I represent here Africa Youth Movement, which is a movement with 10,000 members from 40 countries. So I'm here to amplify the voices of our members. And I think...
Ladies and gentlemen, the sessions are now starting.
Make your way to the room. So I think why youth are important to this conversation, because we live in the most ironic contradictions of our time. We have the most youthful, innovative population the history have ever seen, and yet this same generation is the most marginalized, the most unsafe, the most unemployed. And that's why young people are angry around the world, because systems and practices of the world have failed them. But the key there is to channel that anger into advocacy, into global action, to transform that anger into art. And this is where this festival is important. This is where the global action is a platform to do that. And that can only be meaningful if it's youth-driven, if it's empowering spaces for youth and inclusive, and if it's amplifying the voices of other people.
Thank you so much for all of those comments. And please don't go to the room yet. So we're now going to turn to questions from the floor. I ask for questions from media, and please state your organization first. Thank you. I see media in the room, but maybe no questions at this time. So if not, then let me pose a question to the panel. In terms of this week, a lot of people here, a lot of action. What do you hope to see? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges that you hope to be addressed or hope to come out of this week's festival? Maybe we can start on the far right. Thank you.
I already mentioned that my first impression is it's very colorful, that there are new ideas. We had some music presentations. This is unconventional way, and I think that's exactly what we need. We can't go on like all the decades and the years before. We can't go on as business as usual. So if we want to bring new messages to the people, we also need new methods, new ideas, innovation in communication. And I think this is exactly what is happening here, and that's also what I'm expecting.
Thank you. Your Excellency.
I think the essence of the festival is to extend the campaign on SDGs, to share knowledge, to inspire ourselves, and to try to compare notes. Where are we? Where are you? And to see how we can work together to make a world a better place. What we've seen today is new, and there is a new innovation, and we must continue to do that. Take campaign all around the world, and I'm pleased to charge UN SDG campaign to do that for us, to take us around, learn new things, new idea, and how you can impact life.
Thank you. Mitch?
Well, there's a very serious goal behind this festival. We want everyone to enjoy themselves and have fun, because we think that that's the best way to actually do new things and be comfortable doing new things. But we are very carefully looking for specific people who want to step up and take the next step. We saw people from last year, for our Moroccan friends, if they're around. This campaign originated last year at the festival, and they created a whole national movement with the support of the government and other sectors in Morocco. This blue zone zone over here, which is the SDG zone, is where we are listening for those who want to make similar commitments this year. This is incredibly important for us as we report to those who are paying for this type of exercise that this is actually working. This is not just a one-time event, but this is the growth of a community over many years. We have to be ready to do this for the next 12 years. Every year we need to come back and be bigger and stronger and reporting back with even more action. So I'm very excited to hear the stories of people, what they've done in the last year, but also the commitments that people are willing to make for action in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you.
For me, two things. The first is we need to find creative ways of doing activism, because I come from a context of Africa and the Middle East where there is a lot of shrinking of civic space. There is a lot of shrinking of spaces for youth to do action. So we need to come up with new innovative ways of activism. And the second thing, as I said in the panel, is solidarity. I don't think the SDGs is coming up with something new for us. Everyone is already doing their own struggle for years and fighting for education and health and all the things. But I think SDGs provide this platform to have a global vision for us, instead of doing our struggles separately, to do it now together and to do it to accelerate that change. So for me, and especially that we are building on something that is happening. I come from Tunisia, and we did a peaceful revolution in 2011. We already reforming government. We already transitioned into democratic spaces. We built a resilient civil society. So there is already change happening. We need to build on it, but we need the solidarity of other countries and other struggles to come together and make it happen.
Thank you. Maybe just one last question before we wrap up, and just on partnerships. Obviously, we all know partnerships are pivotal to achieve the SDGs. A lot of partnerships happening this week, a lot of communities being built. How do we carry those forward and really reach scale beyond this festival in the year ahead as we move to the next festival next year? Maybe Mitch, you could take that question.
Well, I think that the key word is action. A lot of partnerships are created with good intentions and plans to do things, but the partnerships that really last are those where actual activities are done with joint partnership. Something like this festival, for example. There's always been this great movement, and there are movements around the world, but sometimes it's important to create a venue like this to actually show and reinforce and remind ourselves of how powerful this network is. So the partnerships that are created here, some will stand the test of time, some won't. What we want to do is make sure that we are out there listening for those that are actually working, so that when we come back here, we can show people how to put together very effective, action-oriented partnerships. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sure.
Just to add to that, I think it's important to work in between the festivals. That's the hard work. Following up on those partnerships and really making them tangible is actually going back to our regions and doing the actual work. So hopefully next year we'll come back with more success stories.
Sounds great, and a good note to finish on. Thank you to our speakers this morning, and to everyone in the audience, and to our online audience as well. Please follow us the rest of the week at the SDG studio. Thank you.